10 Down WJ presents The Error on How Some People Form Relationships. The notion that people should form relationships based solely on race is a flawed premise. Journey with me, as we delve into the complexities of human relationships, the failings of racial grouping, and the importance of recognizing individuality over racial identity. It highlights how diversity reflects the different experiences, values, and motives people bring to the table, illuminating that compatibility cannot be dictated by race alone. This examination will encompass the randomness of relationships, the pitfalls of assigning value based on race and wealth, the innate flaws of humanity, and the implications of humanism in the pursuit of identity and connection. 1. Diversity and individuality. As society evolves, it becomes apparent that cultural diversity fosters social growth. Each individual is shaped by a multitude of factors including but not limited to their socioeconomic background, education, personal experiences, and values. The idea that everyone of the same race should automatically relate to each other is reductive. For instance, the African American community is not a monolithic entity. It encompasses a range of experiences from various historical, regional, and socioeconomic perspectives. Not everyone within the same racial group shares the same beliefs or worldviews. An African American individual from Harlem will have different life experiences and perspectives than one from a suburban area in California. Such nuance obliterates the idea that race itself is a solid foundation for relationships. Within diverse societies, individuals often find common ground with those who share similar life experiences or values rather than simply shared racial backgrounds. Relationships often arise out of common interests, beliefs, and goals. Hence, a white individual passionate about social justice might feel a deeper connection to an Asian American activist than to a white individual who has different priorities. Recognizing this intricacy allows for richer human connections beyond the skin-deep categorizations of race. 2. The pitfalls of racial grouping. Using race as the primary lens for relationship formation can be both simplistic and detrimental. When people strive to create a strong people group based on racial identity, the potential for misunderstanding and strife increases. Shared racial identity does not negate the reality of personal disputes or ideological differences. In recent years, instances of conflict arise even in groups that ostensibly share similar racial backgrounds. The 2016 Black Lives Matter protests brought attention to divisions within the African American community related to differing opinions on police brutality and reform strategies. The pursuit of a shared racial identity often obscures the individual perspectives that contribute to the overall composition of a community. Furthermore, the tendency to label people according to race can hinder personal growth. When a person is defined solely by their racial identity, they may feel confined to stereotypes or limitations that do not reflect their true abilities or aspirations. This framing can stifle their potential while reinforcing societal divisions that are increasingly recognized as detrimental to social progress. It is crucial to elevate the dialogue on relationships to include individual traits and values, rather than relying on broad racial generalizations that fail to account for the complexities of humanity. 3. Wealth and success, a misguided metric. In addition to race, the endorsement of wealth as a measure of success further complicates human relationships. People frequently equate financial status with personal worth. This mindset can create hierarchies within both racial and social groups that marginalize those who do not meet specific financial criteria. The emphasis on wealth not only distorts values but alienates those who may have much to contribute in terms of character and community building. Moreover, many individuals erroneously use wealth to validate their social standing while failing to adhere to the fundamental principles that promote respect and integrity. For instance, the growing wealth gap in the United States continues to perpetuate divisions among people regardless of race. In this scenario, wealthy individuals may gravitate toward one another based on their financial status rather than shared values, limiting the potential for authentic relationships. As individuals prioritize wealth over meaningful connections, society suffers from a lack of genuine understanding. 4. Human flaws and the nature of labels. At the core of human interaction lies a universal truth: all humans are flawed. Each individual carries their motives, intentions, and baggage, which can complicate relationships. Labels, whether positive or negative, can significantly impact how individuals perceive one another. A person labeled as lazy or untrustworthy might struggle to shed this label in the eyes of others, even if they do not embody those traits. This phenomenon is particularly observable in racially charged environments, where stereotypes can exacerbate divisions. Judgments based solely on race or labels fail to recognize the richness of individual character. For instance, when judging a person by their race, one may overlook their accomplishments or values. This acceptance of labels instigates hardship, discrimination, and alienation, unraveling potential relationships that could otherwise flourish based on mutual understanding. In contemporary discussions surrounding social justice, phrases like privilege and marginalized have become common as society grapples with inequality. While they can raise awareness of systemic issues, they can also oversimplify individuals' identities. Rather than connecting through shared human experiences, such frameworks can fortify divides and paint communities with broad strokes. Recognizing that each person carries unique conditions can lead to more compassionate interactions based on understanding rather than labeling. 5. The role of intentions in relationships. Men and women enter relationships with various motives and intentions. The baggage brought into these interactions can affect compatibility and sustainability. While certain individuals may seek to foster connections based on altruism or loyalty, others might pursue relationships to bolster their status or satisfy personal desires. These motivations can yield both constructive and destructive outcomes, underscoring the necessity of discerning whom we allow into our lives. This cherry-picking of relationships often amplifies fractures within communities. Individuals might select their friends and partners based on superficial traits, such as race or wealth, rather than character or shared values. Emphasizing these qualities can promote more fulfilling connections founded on respect and understanding. The challenge lies in unraveling the ingrained paradigms directing our relationship choices. Surrendering preconceived notions, sometimes framed as laying down one's will, can lead to relationships that align with a greater sense of purpose. This divergence from traditional humanistic approaches to relationships can enhance emotional well-being and elevate personal fulfillment. Recognizing the value in surrendering to deeper connections not dictated by race can lead to a richer tapestry of relationships. 6. Humanism and the pursuit of identity. The modern philosophy of humanism attempts to navigate human existence separate from God. This ideology can manifest in various ways, from prioritizing individualism to seeking fulfillment through human achievement alone. However, such pursuits may lack foundational principles that promote genuine connections and respect for one another. Abandoning a relationship with God can lead to earthly desires overshadowing the importance of compassion and mutual understanding. To create a society that prioritizes these principles, it is essential to address the pitfalls of humanism. The detachment from a spiritual framework can complicate interpersonal relationships, as individuals become disconnected from their intrinsic value. By contrast, those who privilege spiritual beliefs and values tend to cultivate deeper ties, recognizing the dignity of each person. Apprehending the limitations of humanism fosters greater understanding between diverse individuals. It promotes a dialogue around building relationships rooted in empathy, respect, and deeper values, rather than superficial attributes like race. By nurturing connections that arise from understanding and commonality, humanity may inch closer to collaborative coexistence. 7. Future developments and directions. Moving forward, it is crucial to encourage dialogues around the importance of individuality in relationships. Educational initiatives could instill values that emphasize personal character and shared interests over superficial identifiers. Social movements can shift focus from racial unity to inclusivity, inviting narratives that celebrate diversity beyond race and wealth. Moreover, cultivating relationships that embrace diversity paves the way for shared growth, challenge preconceived notions, and foster healthy communication. By bridging the gap between varied experiences, society can strive to create a more inclusive and understanding community. Additionally, church or community-based programs can promote interactions among diverse groups, aiming to transcend barriers that nurture distrust. Ultimately, recognizing the flaws inherent in human nature and the limitations of race as a basis for relationships can lead to profound social transformations. As society progresses, acknowledging the value of individuality over racial categorization is essential in fostering authentic connections. Embracing the complexity of humanity can lead to a future where people uplift one another, regardless of their backgrounds or histories. In conclusion, Forcing relationships based on race is an ill-fated endeavor that fails to acknowledge the diversity within groups. The human experience encompasses a broad spectrum of motives, intentions, and backgrounds that cannot be simplified through racial categories. Wealth as a measure of success is misleading and often damaging, leading to alienation and conflict. As humanity continues to grapple with its flaws and the systems that perpetuate division, it is vital to move towards a paradigm that values individuality and genuine connection. By shedding the limitations of race and wealth, individuals can foster relationships grounded in shared values, empathy, and mutual understanding. Embracing this complexity allows for richer human connections that honor the inherent dignity of all. 10 Down WJ, where creativity meets impact.